Hello, and welcome back to the Richard Talaferro podcast. I'm an avid runner. Early mornings, I'm out on the roads, pounding the pavement and starting off my days on the right foot. Running has taken me to many adventures and to many places, and the practice has brought me so much joy and growth. But what happens when it's taken away? A few weeks ago, I suffered a calf strain, a fairly serious one, and it took all I had to get back to the car and not hurt it more. I tried all the remedies to make the pain go away: rest, ice, compression, and elevation. I had a long trail race, my first one, in a couple weeks, and I was looking forward to finishing it. None of the remedies, though, were working fast enough for me, and I sadly had to make the call to skip the race. Of course, I was feeling down about it. I was looking forward to jumping into that race and trudging up and down hills on a Saturday morning. But this was the most serious injury I've had in the 11 years I've been running. I've had a few turned ankles and a skinned ear or two, but nothing this bad. Rather than mope and get angry at losing a key part of my life, I took the time to actually do nothing, running wise. I stepped back, a key piece of the coaching puzzle, and told myself I'm going to be okay. I'll be back on the roads in the park soon enough. And I just have to allow myself to heal, to give myself some grace. You may find yourself at the crossroads of a career transition and wondering what's next for you. Will it be seeking a promotion in your current work? Will it finally be pulling the trigger on that dream business you've been thinking about for years? How can you go a little bit more confidently down the road that speaks to the work that works for you while giving yourself a little bit of grace? So let's take a look at three ways. Let's reframe what's next as who am I becoming? Rather than forcing yourself to find the perfect job title right away, let's focus on your growth. We are, after all, dynamic beings. So, what are your interests, strengths, and values? Let's explore those and let's discover what lights you up and brings you joy. This self discovery can guide you towards a more fulfilling career path with a bonus. The journey itself becomes part of the process. Let's celebrate small wins, not just the big one. Career transitions can feel like running a marathon, and it can get too easy to get discouraged by the future. Instead, let's acknowledge the progress that you're making right now. What new skills have you learned? Who have you reached out to who has been especially inspiring to you? Let's celebrate those smaller achievements. These and many more are the building blocks of confidence and momentum for your journey. And lastly, let's embrace self compassion. A career change can be a journey of self discovery with many moments of doubt and uncertainty. This is the time to practice self compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend facing a similar situation. Let's trade in harsh self criticism for understanding and encouragement. Grace is about giving yourself the space to learn and grow as you navigate your career transition. Now, I'm happy to report that after a few weeks of rest and giving myself a little bit of grace, I'm back on track and running normally again. My mornings feel much better now, as a key ritual of joy for me has returned. Grace can be about giving yourself space and giving yourself belief. I want you to have that belief that you can make the career transition you've been wanting to make. It's a matter of figuring out how to make the transition work best for you and giving yourself grace to make the move. Here's this week's question for you. In what ways can you give yourself grace in a career transition? I invite you to reach out to me and let's talk about it. If you're searching for work that works for you, I invite you to go to richardtaliaferro.com and schedule a complimentary call with me and let's talk about it. Thanks for listening and talk to you next week.